Run, CJ, run.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. To go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Boots on and lace.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And welcome to Texans Happy Hour. What's going on, y'all? What y'all sipping on? What y'all sipping on today? All right. I'm not going to be here for a long time because I have to also record the Locked On Texans podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texans podcast and to the Locked On Texans YouTube channel. And I also have to, y'all give me 1 second. I'm also going to be on the H-Town Rundown show tonight with AD and the rest of the gang. I need to retweet this or repost it. There we go. What's going on, Key? What's going on, Alexis? So I'm not going to be here a long time, but we're going to have us a good time. And I just had to come on here and I got to ask you all a question. And Alexis, when everybody else come into the room, can you do me a favor? Can you make sure you just update them on what we're talking about? Because some of them are going to have to play catch up. And unfortunately, I don't have time to catch them up. So I would greatly appreciate that if you could help me out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this thing. How could the Texans take one of the best days in franchise history by having a press conference for the best cornerback they've ever had on this team? One could say the best defensive back they've ever had in team history, in franchise history. There hasn't been a better defensive back that I know of that has played for the Houston Texans than Derek Stingley Jr. They extended him 3 years, $90 million, $89 million guaranteed. On Wednesday, we had an opportunity to talk with Derek Stingley Jr. For those of you all who don't know, Derek Stingley Jr. really doesn't like to talk in front of the camera. If you get him to the side, if you record him, he'll talk to you all day long. He just doesn't really like being in front of the camera. And if you go back and you watch the videos from today, you will see. He's really not, he really don't like being in front of the camera. He loves talking football. If you can get him to the side and record him, he'll talk football. Matter of fact, I'm going to dig in my duffel bag and put that out. And I got an interview that I got from Derek last year. When we was in Ohio, I got an exclusive one-on-one with Derek, and it's recorded. And so I will put that audio out, and I will embed that audio over a picture or pictures of Derek Stingley Jr. What's going on, HD? I will. But what I can't understand is this. How can the Houston Texans organization take the best day, one of the best days in franchise history by bringing your best defensive back to ever play for your team to the podium to speak to the media, to his press conference, and talk about his extension, talk about how much the organization appreciates him, how much the organization, loves him, the reason why the organization drafted him. How can you take that and ruin it with an announcement that you signed Cam Robinson? Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? You couldn't have waited? You couldn't have let Derek Stingley have his moment? Of course, y'all put out multiple things about him signing that, but we never had an opportunity to speak to Derek. So finally, we got an opportunity to speak to Derek. His family was there. His girlfriend was there. And then 3 hours later, 4 hours later, 4 hours later, you talk about you've signed Cam Robinson? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. Hold on. D-Dog, I think this, D-Dog says, I think this is a nothing burger, Sarge, with all due respect. Well, with all due respect, D-Dog, you don't, because I want to make sure that I'm respectful. And I don't want to, and don't take this the wrong way, D-Dog. I'm not talking about, I don't want to disrespect you, and I don't want to disrespect the other people that's listening to this right now. So all I'm going to say is this, is that this is not how you do business. I'm going to use this example, D-Dog. This is like getting engaged at your best friend's wedding. You don't get engaged at your best friend's wedding, or you don't get engaged at your best friend's engagement. You don't say, oh, wait a minute, me too. You don't go to a baby shower for your friend or your relative and announce that you're pregnant as well. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. I'm Vega 702. I'm not being messy. This is not being messy. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. This ain't gonna be the first time, and it won't be the last time. I understand. I appreciate you. Hey, listen, that's what makes this show so well. We are here. We ain't gotta agree. We ain't gotta agree. We don't have to agree. Hold on. I'm trying to say Silver Sarge. Gotta see which logo you got top right. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. I don't think they wanted to obviously take the attention away from Sting. Could have just been a busy day in the building. Yeah. Big Sarge, is Robinson a good player? That's all I want to know. I'm glad. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, because I'm about to get to that. You know what you announce on the day that you signed Stingley? Hey, man, we've re-signed Stephon Diggs. Hey, man, we've traded for Chris Olave. Hey, we've traded for Garrett Wilson. Cam Robinson. Y'all are Texans fans. Y'all didn't watch Cam Robinson when he was with the Jaguars? Y'all didn't watch Cam Robinson when he was with the Vikings? Although he played better with the Vikings, but go look at his pressure rate. Go look up the amount of pressures that he gives up. He gave up 21 in the last 2 games. You want to see Cam Robinson? Go watch the playoff game against the Rams. At one point, he was ranked the 9th worst offensive tackle. I'm sorry, the 9th worst offensive tackle as far as run blocking is concerned. You don't announce that on the day that you signed Derek Stingley. And I put run CJ run because you got rid of Laramie Tunsil, which, by the way, hey, look, you can either you like it or you don't like it. You can be for Laramie Tunsil getting traded. You could be for Laramie Tunsil staying. I don't care. Whichever way you want, whichever floats your boat. However you look at that. But you bringing in Cam Robinson and going to listen, Cam Robinson was barely able to protect Sam Darnold. Now you want to protect CJ? And then you announce that you're signing Cam Robinson on today. That's the point that I'm making. Even though some of y'all didn't let me get to that point, it's cool. I got it. I ain't tripping. Hey, some of y'all love premature ejaculation. I get it. Some of you bust before you take your pants down because you're too excited. I got it. I ain't tripping. But to announce that you signed Cam Robinson on the same day Derek Stingley has had his press conference? What? Now, don't get me wrong. I know it was reported, and I know that it was reported by other people, but where the hell y'all think that where do you think that the information came from? Where do you think that this information came from? And Cam Robinson? Hey, this is the same Cam Robinson that was injured in what? 2018, 2022, 2023. Okay. And don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. When Cam Robinson left Jacksonville, which I think is by far one of the most toxic places to play football, I think Jacksonville has a history of being toxic starting from the owner on down. I do think that they are toxic. I do think that they do things the wrong way, like bringing in Tim Tebow, bringing him into camp to play tight end, hiring Urban Meyer, who couldn't keep his hands to himself, who's going around kicking players, who lost that locker room but like the first week of regular season, by the first week of regular season, that locker room was lost. So don't get me wrong. I understand Cam Robinson came from a toxic situation in Jacksonville, but he wasn't really good. And you know what the sad part about it is? The sad part about it for Cam Robinson is that he's going to continuously be compared to Titus Howard. To Laramie Tunsil. I said Titus Howard because I'm thinking about the next point I'm about to make. He's constantly going to be compared to Titus Howard. Y'all give me a second. My bad. Get it together, Sarge. And the reason why, why I keep saying Titus Howard? Because I think that Titus Howard would have been a better option at left tackle than Cam Robinson. That's why I keep saying Titus Howard. But he's constantly going to be compared to Laramie Tunsil. Like I said, some of y'all were over Laramie Tunsil. When I go on the H-Town rundown tonight, I'm going to have to talk about that. I'm going to have to talk about, the whole Laramie Tunsil trade, my relationship with Laramie as far as talking to him in the locker room, interviewing him in the locker room, or whatever the case may be. They're going to talk about that, and I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that. I told you all from the time that matter of fact, I told you before it happened, hey, if the Houston Texans decide to move on for Laramie Tunsil, I understand. They need that money. They need the money. And Laramie Tunsil is coming up on another. He gonna be looking for another bag. And you can't afford to keep Laramie Tunsil if you want to sign Derek Stingley to $30 million, a $30 million a year extension. If you want to sign Will Anderson to whatever extension you're going to have to give him. If you want to sign CJ Stroud to whatever extension you're going to have to give him. And then you're going to have to look at some of the other pieces. Nico is going to come around And if he keeps producing the way that he is, he's going to want a bag too. So I get that part. I get the penalties. Had a lot in at the start of the season, didn't have that many. I mean, sorry, they went down significantly in the middle of the season, and then by the end of the season, he had picked up a couple of more. You can't have 19. You can't have 19 penalties at the left tackle position. But shit, can you have 13? Because some of y'all are gonna say, well, 19 is worse than 13. And I know. I graduated high school and college. I know how to do math. I know how to do basic math. And I know in basic math, 19 is always going to be greater than 13, but 13 is a lot, right? Hey, Sarge, who had 13 penalties? Go look it up. So I'm not here to talk about Cam Robinson. Well, no, let me take that back. I'm lying. I am here to talk about Cam Robinson because I'm confused. Did Titus Howard not play left tackle? Can Titus? I thought Titus Howard was pretty good at left tackle. If you're gonna put Cam Robinson at left tackle and you're gonna put Titus Howard at left guard, Titus can play left guard. If you're gonna start him off at the season at the left guard position, okay, I get it. But Titus has repeatedly said, "I am a tackle. I am a tackle. I am a tackle." And Titus just restructured his contract. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have rather seen a rookie. If you're gonna go left, I would have rather seen a rookie than to see Cam Robinson. And some of y'all gonna say, "Well, Sarge, you gotta be in the locker room with Cam Robinson." You're right. I do. I do. You're right. I'm gonna get an opportunity to talk to him. You're right. He may see this and may not want to talk to me. I'm cool with that. I got it. I understand. I just don't get it. A lot of you all, if you go back and you look, I talked about Laramie Tunsil too. And you know what Laramie said? No, Sarge, you right. Hey, Laramie, you had a lot of penalties. Like you look bad in that Vikings game. No, Sarge, you right. I could have done better. Hey, Laramie Tunsil had a lot of a lot of penalties, a lot of pre-snap penalties. It's just not going to be good for the Houston Texans. I said that. That was me. I said that. So I'm not afraid. And these players know. I've said this before. I say it again. I said it the other day on the Locked On Texans podcast. Y'all think that I don't that just because I had a relationship with these players that I have, that I don't criticize them. In a now deleted tweet, CJ's mom said, "Really, Sarge? Really?" Because I said, I forgot which game it was. I cannot remember which game it was. But whatever game it was, I tweeted out that, hey, this ain't all on this ain't all on Bobby. CJ has to take some accountability for this as well. I think it may have been the Lions game. And I said, hey, CJ got to take some accountability for this as well. And CJ's mom came after me. You know what CJ said after the Cowboys game when I finally got an opportunity? I think it was the Cowboys game. I finally got an opportunity to talk to him. Y'all give me a second. Because now I done got myself, excuse me, all caught up. Let me look at this. Game tracker. Type regular. Yeah, that's exactly when it was. It was the Lions game, and then the next week they played the Cowboys. Let me double check just to make sure. Week 8. No, I'm sorry. Week 10, they played the Lions, and then right after that, they played Dallas. When I had an opportunity to speak to CJ, when I finally got an opportunity to talk with him, You know what CJ said? Hey, Sarge, let me just say this from the jump. You know, you're a parent. You know how you protect kids. I said, CJ, I definitely understand. I'm protect my kids and my grandkids. I got 6 of them that I'm willing to die for. 6 grandkids that I'm willing to lay my life on the line for, no matter what. Lay my life on the line, go to jail for whatever they need. I'm gonna protect my grandbabies. I'm gonna protect my kids. I am. Protect my wife. Get it. So CJ said, she's being a mama first, Sarge. But you didn't do nothing wrong. What you said wasn't wrong. You was right. You was doing your job. You was doing your job, man. That's all. You didn't say nothing that was wrong. You didn't say nothing with malicious intent. You didn't say nothing to try to get clickbait. You didn't try to say, I mean, you didn't say nothing to try to get likes and retweets. You didn't do none of that. What you said was right. I did not play well in the second half of that Detroit Lions game. He said you was right. And you should have said what you said. You was doing your job. So I don't want y'all to think that, oh man, Sarge don't talk about the players. Yes, I do. When Kenya Green was having a bad game, bad couple of games, what did I say? Hey, Kenya Green is having a bad couple of games. You know what? I went right to Kenya. Hey man, you want to talk about what's going on? Hey Sarge, I need to play better. I need to play better. Held Bobby accountable. Held Coach D'Amico accountable. Like as long as you're doing your job, they know we have a job to do. As long as you do your job, then it's cool. So as I digress, right? All I'm saying is this, right? I'm gonna need an opportunity to talk to Cam Robinson. Probably be later than sooner, but I'm gonna get a chance to talk to him. I don't know what these media availabilities are gonna look like. We talked to Derek Stingley on Wednesday. I don't know when we're gonna talk to CJ Gardner-Johnson. I don't know when we're gonna talk to Christian Kirk. I don't know when we're gonna talk to Cam Robinson once they make it official. But my thing is this: the Cam Robinson is not a big enough splash. Cam Robinson is not a big enough signing in order to take a in order to rain on Derek Stingley Jr.'s press conference. Because you know what happens now? You know what happens now, right? Instead of the media and instead of us talking about the things that Derek said at his press conference, talking about the things that Derek said, you know, by being appreciated by the franchise, by how much his father meant to him. On when I asked him about when did he know that he could potentially reach how did he know that he could attain what he'd attained by becoming the best cornerback in the game and being the highest paid cornerback in the game? What example? I asked him, what do you think that the example that you're setting for rookies teammates like Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock, who's been calling you all pro Sting since day one? Those are the things we should be talking about. We should be talking about how what he said about CJ Gardner-Johnson and how much he reminds him of Kamari Lassiter. We should be talking about how when Derek Stingley Jr. was asked, "Hey man, how did you celebrate?" He said, "I had crawfish." You see what we should be talking about for the rest of the day? But you know what the headlines are now? Houston Texans will sign, or according to sources, the Houston Texans will sign left tackle, former Jacksonville Jaguar, former Minnesota Viking left tackle Cam Robinson. And now guess what happens? Derek gets pushed out of the news cycle. This is what I'm trying to say. Cam Robinson isn't a big enough signing in order to rain on Derek Stingley Jr.'s parade. Because now, what are we doing? Now we're going to be talking about Cam Robinson. And does it really make sense for the Houston Texans to bring him in? That was reported that Cam Robinson was probably going to get a 3-year deal worth 56 million. I think he was supposed to, I think he, not a 3-year deal. I think he was supposed to projected to get $14 million a year in a 3-year deal, not with the Texans. It's just that people were projecting that his next team, that's where he was signed. So the Houston Texans giving him what, 1 year, 12 million, that could potentially go up to $14.5 million. I can see that. There's a lot of stuff I have on this paper that some of it I'm just going to save for Locked On Texans. Make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texas podcast and the Locked On Texas YouTube page. But I just wanted to say that you announced that you signed Stephon Diggs, so you could talk about, hey, on today we had a press conference and we talked about, the extension that was given to Derek Stingley Jr. But and today, hold on, let me redo this because this is what I do. Y'all think that Big Sarge Media is just me talking sports. Nah, I'm a media company, and y'all are going to see how much how much that plays. Excuse me. You're going to see how much of me being a media company and the different aspects that I have, the different angles, excuse me, that I have of me. This is what should have been happening, right? This is the only way you rain on Derek Stingley Jr.'s parade. It was a great day for the Houston Texans organization as Derek Stingley Jr., who became the highest paid cornerback in the league at 3 years, $90 million with $89 million guaranteed. Derek Stingley, who was an all-pro for the Houston Texans on last year. Derek Stingley, who was a shutdown corner for the Houston Texans, had 5 interceptions, played very well, played every game throughout last season. Got an opportunity to talk on Wednesday to the media and to the fans and how he is grateful and appreciative of playing for the Houston Texans. But the Houston Texans also signed, and then that's when you insert big name there. You insert big name there. So now you're talking about how great of a day it was for the Houston Texans. You're talking about Derek Stingley, and you're talking about your big signing. But it was an okay day for the Houston Texans. Great day for Derek Stingley Jr. And then you're going to talk about signing Cam Robinson. Now, before I get ready to go, before I get up off here, the title says Texans Happy Hour, Run CJ Run. So when did Nick Caserio decide that he wanted the worst of the Minnesota Vikings offensive line? Hey, Nick, you know what made that offensive line go? Give me a second. I don't have my phone. I normally would have my phone. Give me a second. Because I don't want to mess up his name. And I want to give y'all the most accurate. I want to give y'all. Give me a second. Let me just look at this. Okay. Here we go. Where is it? Yeah, I know that that's not it. No, thank you. I am okay. Here we go. So, here we go. You know what made The offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings looked good. You know what made the Minnesota Vikings offense look good? Especially, making Sam Darnold look like he was the best thing since ice cold water. One, you had the head coach who is, pretty much the offensive coordinator, and Kevin O'Connell. Got to be able to scheme things right. Kevin O'Connell, very, very, very good at drawing up offensive plays, drawing up schemes, doing that. Chris Cooper, offensive line coach. That's who helped them make. That's who helped that Minnesota Vikings line, offensive line, look good. That's who. That's who. Cooper and Kevin O'Connell working hand in hand, drawing up good schemes. Now they got exposed towards the end of the season, and the Rams. Sheesh, Rams did something to them, and that's the crazy part about it. It's like, Nick Caley, you watched, you watched that game, didn't you? Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second chance. You save me. You save me. Oh yeah, hold on. I don't think I'm supposed to be singing that. Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. Nick Caley, you was there when the Rams beat the Vikings 27-9. Team stats. Sacks. They gave up 9 sacks. So, your idea of protecting CJ Stroud is to go out and to get Cam Robinson and Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram, the guy who was benched after week 10 for being ineffective. Kevin O'Connell said that. Those were his words verbatim. We wanted to go with someone else because we want to give whatever guy they gave the opportunity to. We want to go with him because of Ingram's ineffectiveness. Another good run blocker, bad pass blocker. We heard that before, right? So when you got Ed Ingram and you got Cam Robinson. And Cam Robinson only made it to Minnesota because the Vikings lost their tackle for the season. Forgot which week. So now you're protecting CJ. And even if it's even if you're saying Ed Ingram is going to be a backup, that means that whoever's playing that right guard position can't get hurt. The amount of money that you're giving Cam Robinson, he's going to start. So I'm confused. On the Locked On Texas podcast, I came on the show. I had a drill and everything in my hand, and I said, Nick, I think that you could DIY that offensive line. Do it yourself. But what I meant was take the resources that you already have and put the line together. Go into the draft and draft some offensive linemen. They didn't expect you to go out and get nails and don't have a hammer. I didn't expect you to go out and get a drill and no drill bits. Got a screwdriver, no screws. What are you gonna do with this one? I listen for the life of me, and y'all can tell me I'm wrong. I'm cool with that. But for the life of me, I don't think that the Houston Texans went out and got the offensive line better. I don't think that they got a better offensive line unit. Not with the additions that they made in free agency. Hell, I would have rather you just go out and get a left guard. Find a left guard or find a left guard in the draft. And then you start Blake Fisher, Juice Scruggs, Jared Patterson, your new left guard, and Titus Howard. But with the additions that you've made, I'm saying to myself, what? Huh? What are we doing here? Y'all think CJ got hit a lot last year. Hopefully, we're hoping that Nick Caley, who we've never seen call a play, we've never seen him call one offensive play. We're hoping that Nick Caley will draw up and scheme some things for CJ, and for CJ's just natural ability as the quarterback that he is. You're hoping that that kicks in. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I said this after week 2 to the end of the season, and I'm going to say it again. The NFL is a copycat league. First couple of weeks, these teams are going to see if Cole Popovich really knew how to stop stunts and delayed blitzes. You're going to see. But I don't like the what we're currently looking at. I don't like that for CJ. Some of y'all been saying, "Hey man, CJ got to use his legs more." You think now? CJ gonna be on the run if they don't get it together. And look, let me tell y'all something. We're talking right now, March 19th, right? By the second week of the regular season. Well, I'm sorry, by the fourth or fifth week of the regular season, y'all could be saying, Sarge, see, you jumped the gun. That's cool. I'm only talking about March 19th. And I'm going to make sure that I keep this and let you all know that I'm saying that as of right now, as of March 19th, I don't like it. I don't. I don't. As of March 19th, I still see a lot of holes on that offensive line. As of March 19th, you still need another wide receiver. All that can change. And by week 4, when you come back and you want to tell me, hey, Sarge, you was wrong, I'd be like, all right, I was talking about March 19th. Hell, I can come back in training camp and say, hey, man, y'all remember in March I was saying this? Hey, things have drastically changed. I am seeing blah, 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 blah. Could. But I think that CJ is going to be on the run as of right now. I don't like what they're doing with these free agent signings. I just don't. And I don't like the fact that the Cam Robinson, the Cam Robinson acquisition was announced on the same day that Derek Stingley did his press conferences. He's just not, I'm sorry, he's just not a big enough name to overshadow the best cornerback to ever play, the best defensive back to ever play for the Houston Texans. Let that man have his last day of shine. Let that man have his last day of whatever you're gonna do before. Because I don't know if you all know this or not, but in this business, this media business, negativity sells. And if I'm saying this about Cam Robinson, and I'm just going by what I see, whatever the case may be, what do you think that they're doing on these radio airwaves right now? I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio. Pretty sure it's negative. Pretty sure. But not only that, right? Not only that, you're talking now more about Cam Robinson than you are about Derek Stingley Jr. You're talking more about Cam Robinson and what he brings to the team than the guy who's already showed you what he has. For the guy that already showed you who he is, the guy that showed you that he's going to continuously improve. Derek Stingley Jr. said that he was working out with his dad when he got the news. His daddy told him, "Hey man, the deal done." He's like, "Oh, that's crazy," and kept working out. These are the things that we should be talking about, not Cam Robinson. The name isn't big enough to make a splash. All right, y'all. Got to hurry up and get up out of here. Like I said, I got to do the lockdown Texans. And I'm going to go back. Y'all know how I do it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at these comments. Um, I said that. You're the only one bringing this up. It's not that serious. Hey, Vega 702, let me tell you something. I'm different. If you trying to compare me to the other guys that you listen to, as far as Texans talk is concerned, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm different. And if you're new here, I'm different. I always look at things differently. I always take a different angle on a lot of things. Now, there's some things that will coincide with what others are saying, but for the most part, I look at I don't look at the selfie. I look at the panoramic view. So to you, it may not be that serious. To others, it could be, it could not be. But to not think that I don't have a point, hey, that's your prerogative. That's your opinion. I know I have a point. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You may not be, and I'm cool with that. Let me tell you something. What happens here on Sports Talk with Big Sarge? Let me tell you something about Big Sarge. One of the things that I will always tell you is, I respect your opinion. I just disagree with it. I will always say that because this right here is your opinion. It ain't ours. We this ain't our opinion together. That's your opinion. This is my opinion. I'm always respect that. Hey, Brian, what the Houston Texans said that they want? Well, what did Nick Caley say that he wanted to do more of? Didn't he say he wanted to run the ball more? Mhm. Thank you, D Dog. I appreciate that. Senior Bubbly, what's going on? What's up, Ricky? Tay in the building. Don't bring up his dark days. All right, J Rock. All right. It's a prove it deal with incentives. I know. I said that 1 year, 12 million could go up to 14.5 million. I I, I just think you could have spent the money elsewhere. Ah, appreciate that. Who are you? You had a dot as your name. A dot, like a dot, not like dot dot dot. You're a dot with a picture of who is that? Is that JID? Like who is that? Is your Avi? Who is that? Hey, and Dot. Hey, Dot. Dot. I'm from Houston. I'm not from Dallas. Don't even know who you are. You're a Dot. That is a great question. I could see Grace Ava Rutledge being drafted to the Texans and go to. Okay, hold on. I keep. Yes, me too. And we're gonna talk about that later on. Later on, probably next week sometime. Me too. Hold on, hold on. Come on during sipping hours. I can't watch you and drink my yak like I want to when it's this much daylight outside. Hey, Sean, the sun don't go down till 9:30. The sun doesn't go down till 9:30. What's up, Ricky? You know I respect you. Everything you say. Cam signing to me is just a gap filler or a bridge player until they see how things go in the draft preseason, hoping for Banks or Campbell. Okay. All right. I can see that. Thank you, Brandon. You see. I'm definitely gonna find out. We'll find out here soon. But I doubt it because they gave him some money. I'll take 5 average O-line players over 1 star O-line player and scrubs any day. Yeah. Tell that to CJ. It's only a 1 year deal. You can cut Cam anytime. They're just building O-line depth for training camp. He gonna start, bro. He gonna start. He's going to start. I think they're gonna work on him with that. But you know what, Tato? I'm gonna tell you this too. A lot of people don't talk about this enough. And I brought it up during the season, and because a lot of people was like, "Hey, why CJ ain't checking down?" Well, one, he ain't got a lot of time. He didn't have a excuse me. He didn't have a lot of time. One, two, they ran some of the longest developing routes. Some of the longest. Even like Tank could get in them short intermediate routes. Stephon Diggs, but for the most part, they ran some of the longest routes. The lineman whisper. Uh, hold on. No. Nah, we talked about that. We've talked about that. Nah, they didn't. Um, this is a good question. Who's better at left tackle, Robinson or Howard? Hell, hey, look, I know you're laughing, Anthony, but Titus is not a bad left tackle. Go back and look at when he filled in for Laramie when Laramie got hurt. Bobby was an absolute brain dead light when it came to plays, in my opinion. So that's all I'm saying. I got to get up out of here. I got to get ready for the Locked On Texans podcast. Hey, man, y'all already know what it is. I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you being here. Now, tomorrow, Sarge. Hey, Sarge, ask yourself this question. What if somebody watches this show on Friday? And then you say tomorrow, then they're going to be expecting a show on Saturday. But you know you're not going to do a show on Saturday because you got a 5K to do. So come on, use our big boy words. What are you supposed to say? On Thursday's edition of the Texans Happy Hour, we'll talk about why the next person up to be extended from the Houston Texans should be Jalen Petrie. Mm-hmm. 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 I'm gonna tell you why on Thursday's show why Jalen Petrie is so important to this team and why he should be extended. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hold on. It may start after the Rockets game tonight. Cause I got some questions. Okay, so hold on. I got some questions, right? So is Megan Good and Jonathan Majors, are they really married? And who in the hell let Jonathan Majors go out and start talking? Like, bro, you've got to assume that every conversation that you have is recorded, especially when you're talking to your ex-girlfriend who got you hemmed up. who you had to run from. Why would you do something stupid like that? But then again, I've seen how you dress like an old field hand. I see how you dress like you straight up out the 30s. I understand. I understand. Sometimes it feels like with Jonathan Majors, the elevator doesn't go all the way to the top. Sometimes it feels like it stops at the 7th floor of a 30 floor building. I get it. And we got to talk about this Tiana Taylor and this Iman Shumpert divorce. Like she said she got what she came in with. She said he kept everything that he had and she just got back everything she had. So that means Tiana Taylor came in with a lot. So, yeah. Yeah, we got some things. There's some things that we need to talk about on Buzz and Petty. All right. No, let's talk about Monique and how she took the opportunity to go at Tyler Perry while he's trying to eulogize Angie Stone. Like Angie Stone can't even have her own time with Monique trying to come with love, baby. I love you. I love you, brother. I love you, brother. But let's talk about why you ain't never ever put me in the movie. Are you serious right now? This woman, they trying to lay this woman to rest. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. All right. Make sure you subscribe to make sure you subscribe to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show, the Texas Happy Hour on YouTube at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because we do everything for the gram. All right, y'all. I got to get ready. I'm going to be talking for about I got another like 6 or 7 hours to talk tonight. And you know what the worst part about it is? It's like I do these shows and then I do like the shows late. Then when I finish talking, I'm still such in a talkative mood. Then I get in the bed and my wife be like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm trying to go to sleep. My wife has trouble hearing in one ear from an incident that happened when she was younger. And so when she doesn't want to listen to me, she makes sure she puts that ear to whichever side I'm on. Whichever side I'm on. I know when she don't want to listen to me, I'm like, look at this. She didn't turn her ass over. She don't want to hear nothing I got to say. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work.